My mother-in-law, she bullied me, said I was overweight and how my husband's going to leave me, so she convinced me to take surgery and, well, I did it, and it's one of my biggest regrets ever because it did not turn out well. And now I think I'm going to go back to her for a bit of revenge. My mother-in-law and other family members have been bullying me strictly about my weight. I told my husband, but he doesn't care. I'm about to talk about a very sensitive topic. I feel like everyone I've told in my personal life tells me the same thing, which is to just love yourself. Well, it's not so easy when you've been gaining weight uncontrollably and you're simply worried that soon your husband will not be attracted to you. I don't know what to do. I've tried everything, but nothing's working, and I'm so demotivated. But let me start at the beginning so that you'll understand where I'm coming from and why this is such a sensitive topic for me. Up until I was 13, I was a bit chubby. I used to get remarks that I was cute from my mom's friends. I never thought there was anything actually, wrong with me though. The problem started at school, where other girls and boys would tease me about, quote, dumpling cheeks. This continued for a long time, but when I was a teenager, it affected me way worse. Dumpling cheeks. Imagine dealing with teenage angst and body dysmorphia at the same time. I'm sure some of you can relate. But then, I grew up and the baby fat faded away. I was always a size bigger than most of my friends. But I got to a stage where I didn't care anymore. I decided to love myself the way that I was. My eyes started opening. Other people who I thought had perfect bodies also felt pressure when it came to their bodies. I lived my life with a regular body type and I did not wish to change myself. When I got married to my husband Josh, I continued working and occasionally exercising. But then, the company I was working for shut down. My husband was already doing well in his small business, so he suggested that I should stay home. I decided to give it a try and enjoy it, and I had more time for my hobbies, and for once, I did not have to worry about money. I normally visit my mother-in-law every single Sunday. We have a good relationship. She's not a very difficult person to like. Okay, I lied. There's some times when I can't stand her. But I always just hold my tongue because she gave birth to my husband. Let me give you a bit of mental image of her. So, she's in her late 50s, but she looks at least 40. She's very attractive, active, and involved in the community. She got divorced from my father-in-law ages ago, but she's still very much in the dating pool. She's the kind of mother-in-law that I can sip cocktails with or take me with on girls' trips. She is cool, but also a bit invasive. She's always interested in my life, which could be a good thing if I actually like sharing details, which, I'm not an oversharer. I prefer to keep things to myself, and if something is bothering me, I talk to my therapist. But once I get to know somebody, I talk more to them. I am, however, very reserved, especially considering the power dynamics with this woman who's supposed to be my elder. She has no filter, though, and I often find myself internally cringing because of the topic she brings up. A most recent one has been stuck in my mind, and there's therefore the reason why I'm even writing this post. A few days ago, my sister-in-law Ella had a baby shower. In the shower, I was packing my plate with all the delicious treats when my mother-in-law made a remark. She said that the way I was eating these days, I must have a bun in the oven. She said she would be happy if I also have a child within the same year as my sister-in-law. I shut down that idea fast, and we're not ready for children yet because we want to buy a house that'll fit everybody. Well, then she said that I was simply eating too much then, and soon I would not be able to see my feet. Everyone who was nearby started laughing at me. My sister-in-law noticed that I was uncomfortable and she took me to the side. I tried to return to the food, but she told me, "Nonsense! You've not eaten all day because you were organizing my shower. Eat something before you faint." And offered me a sympathetic smile. My sister-in-law and I are very close because we know each other before I've met her brother. When he introduced me to her after we've been dating for a bit, I was pleasantly surprised to see that Josh's sister was my childhood friend. I ate the food and continued enjoying the shower. I did not think about what my mother-in-law said ever again, and then she started sending me several emails per day. They were all from gems promising to help transform me. She sent me coupons and free trials, and at first I thought she was just sharing with all her contacts. One thing about her is that she finds something new, she shares it with everyone in her life. She always sends me useful coupons for clothing, and though my husband pays for everything, I'm still a discount girl. So I thanked her for the first few times, but politely told her that she was flooding my inbox. I thought that would get her to stop, but no. There she went, tagging me in exercise videos, which added to my annoyance. I could not get a moment of peace. She was always sending me that stuff, and it became clear that she had a problem with my weight. And that started to play on my mind. So that's when I decided to look at myself in the mirror for the first time in a long time. I could see that I gained weight, and I started to struggle to find clothes to wear. I could only analyze how my stomach was sticking out and how my arms felt. I just felt unlike myself for those days. I wanted to tell her, but if I told her how she made me feel, then she would become very emotional and tell her son. Then my husband would be very upset with me, and I don't want that. I've also recently started to notice a pattern. When I went to visit my mom, for instance, she said that her son-in-law was taking good care of me. I asked what she meant by that, and she just squeezed my cheeks. Later that night, since I was sleeping over, I asked my mother if I was really gaining weight. My mom told me that just because I was gaining a little bit of extra weight did not make me less beautiful. She said she would rather gain weight than lose it. Since I was happy in my marriage, it was possible that I would start to gain some weight. Another factor that I could be contributing is that the fact that I've not been working. When I used to go to work, I was so active, and it seriously helped me burn extra calories. I've thought long and hard about this. My mother-in-law really bullying me with her comments, or is she maybe trying to help me? It doesn't help that most women in my life have toned figures. I feel like an elephant when I'm in the room with most of them, and now I start to think of the woman that my husband is surrounded by every day, and I am envious. What if one day he wakes up and decides to take a young, fit lady and leaves me alone forever? I've been stressing so much. The only thing that's helped is ironically eating. I thought he would not notice, but he did notice and asked me what was really going on. I told him what was happening, but used the quote, "I have a friend" trick so that he would not know that it was me. He said, "Tell your friend that her husband probably doesn't even care. If he loves her, then he will not care," which made me feel a bit better. So I wanted to ask, how do I deal with these negative thoughts? Should I just go to therapy and talk through it? I've been talking to my therapist about it, but everything she says feels like it's going through a sieve. Now, I don't know what to do. Or maybe I should commit myself to working out and hope to see a change. What is up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. Today's story is an intense one. I would like to hear your thoughts about it, but just know. The next update came out 5 months later, and we're about to see the solution to the problem. If you're new to the channel, the best way to support me is super simple. Just subscribe to the channel. If you want daily videos with all the updates, go ahead and click that subscribe. I'd love to have ya. And let's jump into the next update, 5 months later. Hey guys, I found a solution to my problem and I hope to receive no judgment. I no longer feel comfortable in my own skin. The words that some people have used when they think that I'm not listening also contributed. Another thing that made me make this decision is my sister-in-law. She gave birth 4 months ago and she's already bounced back, so I asked her what her secret was and she told me to go to her mother's. So I swallowed my pride and went to talk to my mother-in-law. She was happy that I finally saw some sense and she told me that she was going to get me a trainer. But then she said that a trainer might work, but my weight could come back. And honestly, we just need a permanent solution. She sat me down and told me the truth was that she did not look like that naturally. She had some help. Well, I suspected it. I mean, come on, she looks 20 years younger than her age. So, she gave me the number of the surgeon so that I could consult him. I spoke to him and found out how much it would be. It will cost a lot of money for me to go through various rounds of surgery, but he told me that he has a more cost-effective way to get everything done. I'm getting 2 rounds of surgery. The first is liposuction on my arms, and the next one will be for my stomach as well as BBL. Mine will not be extreme, just something so that I look beautiful in anything that I wear. He gave me his quotation, and let me tell ya, it is not cheap. At all. I personally don't have money for it, but I'm going to be selling something which my husband bought for me. I'll have it replaced with a replica, and I think that it's better than just taking his money, right? He would not be very happy with me if I took his money. I already have a buyer for it, and once the buyer just transfers the fees into my account, I'm going to the surgery. I already have a story for my husband, and I know how to explain the weight loss. I will just tell him that a friend helped me get it done, and it was minimal. He will not even care when he sees how I look. And, by the way, I'm going to look fabulous. I've already been showed by the doctor. Finally, I will stop having these negative thoughts, and those people who spoke ill of me can literally eat their words. 3 months later, next update. I should have never listened to that woman. She's ruined my life and she refuses to take responsibility for it. Why did I go get that dang surgery? I should have just loved myself the way that I was. She got me a second-grade surgeon who took my money for nothing, and if you see how I look right now, you will literally laugh. I can't even recognize myself. I've been to the hospital and I'm going to need a lot of money to even attempt to fix this. I hope that my so-called mother-in-law gets what's coming to her. She's a witch and she sabotaged me. This would probably explain why I look so terrible. Let me tell you what happened. The surgeon did not know what we agreed on, and after he was done, I went through the painful healing process. I saw how terrible I looked. I called my mother-in-law for a second opinion, and she told me that it would heal and look good very soon. Well, I waited for a long time, but no such thing happened. Oh, and to make matters worse, my husband saying that I stole from him to get the surgery done. I told him that his mother is the cause of all this, but he doesn't even want to support me. He told me that I look ridiculous. I asked him for money to fix it, but he doesn't want to give it to me. He's just mad because he thinks that I used his money to pay for the surgery. I don't get what he says that for, because I know what I've sold the jewelry to pay for the surgery, but he's claiming that the jewelry is not worth enough for me to have gotten surgery using it. He showed me his business accounts and told me that there were tens of thousands of dollars missing. He does not suspect his workers. Instead, he suspects me, his loving wife. Now I see that my mistake was trying to do something for him. To save our marriage, he thinks I didn't notice how when I gained weight, he stopped taking me out. Now I'm suspecting that his mother made me do this so that our marriage can be in deep trouble. She refuses to admit that she sent me to a bad surgeon who botched everything. Now I can't even leave the house because of how I look. I have to wear big, loose-fitting clothing when I go out in public. My husband wants me to admit to taking the money, and he says that it's the only way in which he'll bail me out. He says that I was stupid to go get surgery when he knew I didn't need it. He told me the people are going to laugh at both of us now because of my little stunt. How can he disregard the trauma that I'm going through right now? I'm in distress, and all he tells me is, when we have a conversation, is that I'm the dumbest person that he's ever met. He says that it was my choice to go get the surgery, and I should not involve his mother in this at all. I'm so darn offended, I tell you. I regret the day that I got married to that man and became a part of his family. Fine, I get that my self-esteem issues led me to making this choice by myself, but I would not stand for accusations and attacks on my character. The last conversation that I had with my husband affirmed that the fact that our relationship is not as strong as I thought it was. He told me that the only way in which he would help me out is if I admit I took his money. He refuses to believe that his employees could have been the ones to take it. I refused to admit it. I asked him why he took my life away from me, and I was okay with looking for a new job, but he wanted a trophy wife who would stay at home and wait on him. Well, in doing so, I lost myself and fell into bad habits. Now that I'm trying to fix it so that I can also look good and feel good, he chooses to ridicule me. I don't know what to say anymore. Our conversation did not end well. I ended up in tears and unable to continue talking to him. I called his sister, who is my friend, and I told her everything. She said that she's going to talk to him, but I don't think that talking will help. I think that at this point I might be done with him. My body's not what it used to be, and even if it does get fixed, I need money. At the moment, I think I know exactly what to do. I have this friend, Stacy, who I used to work with. Stacy was like a sister to me. She used to do everything for me without having to ask, and when I got married, I stopped talking to her. It's difficult to keep track of friends when you get married, especially those friends are also unmarried. I thought of her in my darkest hours. I'd been crying for hours in a dark room as I thought of how I got into this mess because I chose to listen to that stupid, dreadful woman. So, I called her and I went to her house. Once I was there, I told her everything that happened and she offered me her place if I wanted to crash. I said no, initially. But then I was on Instagram and I saw a picture of my husband, my mother-in-law, and sister-in-law. The very same sister-in-law who said that she would talk to them. I guess this is talking to them that she meant. I told her, you know what? I would like a place to crash for a few days while I think about what to do next. And I really am thinking of how to resolve this. My whole life has gone to pieces, and it looks like the only person that can help me. As for my mother, I don't want to tell her anything yet. It'll be too stressful for her to find out what happened to me. Update. 1 week later. I've been staying with Stacy for a week, and it's been such a peaceful week for me. She's been so helpful supporting me emotionally and helping me to think of what to do next. And I know what I have to do. I have to fight. There's not much that can be done. I have to fight against them, even if I'm alone in the corner. Therefore, I've been doing 3 things for the past week. Number 1, getting a lawyer. 2, filing a case against my mother-in-law and doctor. And 3, filing for the divorce. I know that's a lot for one person to take in, but if I win, then I'll get money for my surgery and everything will be okay. People have already seen how I look because of the surgery and they're speaking. This takes me back to when I was in school and those mean girls would make fun of me. It's difficult being a woman in this world. Nobody ever believes us. People see me and think that it was all an act of vanity, but they don't understand that it was a desperation. My mother-in-law's the reason I'm still in this mess. She's the one who bullied me, and she's the one I want to pay the most. Well, I'm so sure that if proper investigations are done, then there will be findings that she absolutely did sabotage me. I want her to pay for everything that she has. We all know that she only has money because she divorced from Josh's dad. Well, They say that karma does come full circle, and that is what's going to happen. I'm going to be the one who divorces her son for this. I mean, I do still love him, and in a perfect world he would believe me, but I don't know where to cut my losses, and I know when I'm not wanted. It's sad how this ends because I really believe that we were the perfect couple. It's ironic as I sit here at his office and wait to talk to him so I can tell him that we're done. I remember this place being unpainted, half constructioned, and coming home from work and bringing dinner to him when he barely left his office. That seems so long ago now. Now I've come here to break off our marriage. I want him to be prepared, for I'm kind. If I was unkind, I would have sent those papers to him without a single word, and let him be shocked. I'm so nervous. How do I tell the man I still love that I'm done with him? Give me strength, for I do not have my own. Update number 3. Well, I almost shed a tear at the very last sentence. It feels like the sad ending to a romance novel, no? It has all the clickbait attributes, drama, romance, and antagonistic, who also happens to be me. Hey, my name's Josh, I'm Laura's husband, and now it's time to see my perspective. Laura is the woman to whom this account belongs to, and the woman who has been lying to you for the past few months. I contemplated leaving it alone. After all, you may pass judgment on me, but you don't know me, and you don't have a true impact on my life. But when I say that she just went cold and did not say anything, I thought that maybe you deserve to know the truth. About 80% of what my ex said, it's a lie, straight up. There are some parts that are true and some parts that will shock you and have you regret even supporting her for a second. I have access to her account because she used to stay with me and logged everything into my computers, and here I am. I got a notification on a comment today while I was on those computers, which brought me here. What I read absolutely shocked me to the core. She lied and made herself look like a victim. Well, I did not support lying, nor do I support or expect you to believe me, but you are allowed to pass your own judgment, are you not? Several months ago, she did indeed come to my office to tell me that she was leaving me. She stayed for all of 2 minutes, where she told me that we're done and she's suing my mother. She seems to believe that my mom is the root cause of this, but while yes, my mom is not innocent, she told me when I confronted her she did not sabotage her surgery. When Laura went to my mom's months ago and told her that she needed a way to lose weight fast, my mom gave her contacts. Prior to that, my mom never said anything about her weight. Even my sister can confirm it. The scene at the baby shower, someone else said to her, and she did get upset and left the party. My sister did track her down and gave her food to comfort her, and then after my sister gave birth, she did get minimal surgery, but only with the approval of her doctor. She also sent her my mother's way. And then to pay for the surgery, she sold jewelry that I bought for her, but the amount was simply not enough, and I found out how much the surgery was through my mom, and we did the math. The exact amount that she needed to get the surgery done is what was missing in my books. And guess what job my wife used to have? She used to be a bookkeeper. She knows all my systems and used to do my books for me. She has access to all my accounts and knows each other and every PIN code to the safe. It makes it even better that she disguised the payment as a payment to a supplier. Just a quick call to my bank and they told me that it was her. So she took my money and went to surgery, which is where the doctor gets in. He told me that he informed her that she was getting too much surgery at the same time, but she said she read on the internet that it was not a problem. So she got the surgery and then she had a reaction to the drugs they used on her. But that was only 2 weeks after her recovery. Let us say that my wife recovered from surgery today. She said that a friend paid for the surgery and I accepted it despite the money missing from the account. I got home to find she was not home, she was out with friends. For those 2 weeks, she was everywhere, showing off her body. It Was then that I saw that she was back in touch with Stan, who you might know as Stacy. Stan's the man who used to be her colleague who she had a fling with around the same time we started dating. She came clean to me those years ago and told me that she picked me. I didn't even have to ask, and she stopped talking to him. When I asked her why she was hanging out with him, after all, social media will always expose you. She told me to mind my own business because she was drunk at the time, but she told me that she could get another me in 2 seconds flat. I did not recognize this cold woman who had taken over my wife's body. And then one morning I woke up next to her, which was a surprise since she never slept at home. She told me that she had a fever, and when I came back she had changed. Her surgery had now turned botched and it looked very painful. I gave her money to go to the doctor, who told her that she had not followed her instructions. He told her to keep coming because he saw that she was not reacting that well to some of the medication that was supposed to help with her healing. Instead, she's been partying and possibly cheating on me. The reason we fought was not because of money. I did ask her about the money, but she refused it. It was because I saw that Stan had visited her when I wasn't home. I saw it on the cameras of the house and asked her, and in the end she told me that I did not love her anyways, and that it's my fault that she was like that. She went on a rampage and told us that she did not need us. Then she left and we went to stay with Stan. Well, it was no secret that my wife was staying with another man. It didn't take her a week after we filed for a divorce to start posting him all over social media. She was so confident in herself that she would sue my mother and get away with it and divorce me as well. While she was looking for a double paycheck, she got nothing. The reason why she has not updated you is probably that she's too busy trying but failing to crowdfund so that she can go ahead and have her body fixed. I think you might have guessed by now. She lost both of the cases. There was no evidence despite her claims that anybody endangered her. She did sign a waiver before she was operated on, so that didn't help her case. Both my mother and the doctor were let off. The man was a professional for all those years that he worked with my mom. Nothing ever went wrong, but I did tell my mom to be careful if she's going to be using him often. Laura might have said that my mom is a monster, but I assure you that she's not. She admits to having her judgment clouded. After all, she's been having work done for a long time and she does not believe in turning away from a person who needs help. With regard to my divorce case, I did have to pay her a lump sum, but it was really not that much. Since she initiated the divorce and I had proof that she might have stolen from me, the court was lenient. I told the whole truth and nothing but the truth, having to relive the hurtful words that she said to me. I don't get where we went wrong. I thought we were happy. We're both aging, and sure, we don't look as young as we did when we first met, but did she have to tell me that I'm not in the same league as her? I know it's hard to believe. After all, she has always been charming. Laura's superpower is that she can appeal to anyone and make them feel sorry for her. Pity that she cannot do that anymore. She's not gotten any funds to help with her surgery, and I don't know what she did with the money that she got from her divorce, but if I could guess, I would think that her boyfriend convinced her to spend it. I see that they're no longer posting each other anymore. She now looks worse than when she started, and she was so much more beautiful before she decided to just go for this exaggerated appearance. But now she's been trying to crowdfund to get some help. Too many people know her story though, so that's not helping. She tried to contact me, but I blocked it and changed all my numbers. As she said, I'm way out of her league. I don't want a liar like her in my life. So there you have it. Her side and my side. You decide which one to choose. This is one of those stories, guys, where we're able to see a different outlook and a different perspective from a different person other than OP. This whole time when I was reading the story, I was feeling more and more and more bad for OP. The things that she went through, and hey, I'm not saying some of the things that she went through could have possibly happened, but what I'm saying is, at the end when her significant other decides, well, I should say ex-significant other, decides to take matters into his own hand and do a post himself, it turns out everything was nothing more than a dirty little lie. And she did take his money, and things were not exactly what we thought it was. Alright guys, I want to hear your opinion on this. Whose side were you on during this, and did you switch it up once you learned a different perspective than what we thought OP was up to? If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you do subscribe for daily videos. I post every single day, so I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Have a fantastic day.